Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I'm using this transfer tool correctly. So I'm using a preset from ACS Kit 2. I've already created a keyframe for an extreme pose of the shoulder, and I've also used a snapshot so that we've got two versions of this character now in the scene. We've got the version of the character in the scene which is rigged with ACS 2, and we've also got the version which is a static mesh which has got no rigging applied to it. What I'm going to simply do is I'm going to simply sculpt some deformations to this mesh and then try and transfer that over to the rigged version. So quite simple to do with this particular case. That's just select this, we're going to add a deformer influence. In fact, the way I like to do it is even quicker. A new morph map. I'm going to type from, that's the name I'm going to give it, right click and then add morph influence. So that's sorted now. The only thing I need to do now is make sure the morph influence has got the map selected, which I've just created, which it has there. Use local deforms. I'm going to use the sculpting move tool, and I'm going to just sculpt this and put this in place. That should be enough to be able to see the differences that what we're trying to achieve here. And just to show that this morph has been applied correctly, when I take the strength up and down, you can see that it is definitely working as you would expect it to. So now that I've done this, it's basically applied this vertex information to the morph map. So what we have to do next is we're just going to temporarily turn off this mesh, and we're going to go and turn on the character's visibility. Oh, there he is. So turn on the character's visibility. We're going to go into this sculpting mode. We're going to select the joint in question that we're going to be adding this influence to. Presets. I'm going to drag this free joint influence into the scene and then apply it to the shoulder. There it goes over there. And while I've got this character selected, I'm going to go to the list view so we can see what maps get created there. You can see there's one map there selected. I'm going to select this, go into edit in mode, and this is the point where I should be able to transfer from one to the other. I'm making sure that our background mesh is on, so it's got a comparison between the two, and I should be able to transfer from one to the other. I've got this map selected, it's ready to be written to. All I have to do now is go to vertex map, transfer, and then select the from map. From map is the unrigged character, and click OK. Now you can see from this that nothing's happened. It's not written nothing to the vertex map. Although it appears to be trying to do something, but it's not actually done anything. We can clearly see there's a difference, a major difference between the deformation and the deformation I want to go from and to. It's simply not working. Now another thing that I might try to do, if it might be influencing or having a problem with, is if the morph influence is having a global effect across everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off, just in case that's having some kind of issue with it, because the data should be written into the morph map itself. So I've just turned this morph influence off. So let's go back to the character again that we're working on, making sure that we've selected this morph map that we want to write to, and I should be able to go to the transfer tool again. You can clearly see it's not doing anything. That was just disabling the morph map just in case this it's not the morph map but the morph influence, just in case it was having an undesired effect, but it's not making any difference. It's definitely not transferring from one to the other. no matter how many times I do it. So with that said, just to show that the morph map is functional, this morph map here, I'm going to go to the move tool, sculpting move tool, and I'm going to, what's going on here? You see that jump there when I just did that? I've just, very strange what just happened there. It just suddenly jumped up like that. So I'm just wondering whether the morph is applying, but there's some kind of bug in Modo where it's just not updating. You can see I just started to make deformations to this mesh and suddenly it just jumped up like that, as if it's just sort of triggered or keyed in there for some reason. Very, very strange, that behaviour. Did you see that jump there? I'll just show you again in a rerun. You can see that in the rerun there that it did kind of flip up. So I'm wondering whether it is actually applying the background morph. It's very, very strange behaviour. There's obviously a separate morph influence that's been set up for this, so maybe it's something to do with that, I'm not sure. Let's try and transfer it again. Just wait for a minute. Okay, it's not sure what it's done there. Seems to have put it back to where it was to start with, which is a bit strange. So we've done the transfer. There's no doubt about that. So let's just see whether there is a problem with the updating within Modo. Let's find the morph influence which is controlling this. There has to be a morph influence in there somewhere. So let's have a look. Post sculpt, maybe no, it's not. It's nothing in there. It should be inside here, if anything. There we go. Let's just enable, disable. Nope. It's certainly not doing anything there. I mean, this is the morph influence. Let's select that and try doing the transfer. So you've actually got this morph influence selected here. Not sure it makes any difference. So no, there's definitely, without doubt, it definitely is not doing anything by doing this transfer. Absolutely nothing. The only strange thing is when I go to sculpt this now, is that you see this, it just sort of jumps up, right up like that. It's almost as if it's applying it as a secondary thing there, but it's really messing up the mesh. In either case, it's really making a mess of it. So now I'm just sculpting it in manually now without doing the transfer. And then we'll edit out. So we at least see that there's nothing wrong with the map for the fact that I can manually sculpt it in there. But it certainly ain't transferring from one set to the other on Morph Map for some reason. I'm in Modo 801 Surface Pack 4. Maybe Surface Pack 5 is going to make a bit of difference, I'm not sure.